Every single day, ask yourself this. Hello, gals, and welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can heal up those relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. And as I've been saying lately, we ditch a whole lot more than that, don't we? Getting rid of alcohol is such a relief. Everything in our lives gets better. And that's why I want that for you. I want that for you, gals. And so tomorrow, April 12th, that's 24 hours from now, I am doing a live masterclass on Zoom just for you, 90-minute masterclass called Master Your Mindset to Master Your Drinking. Gals, this is a free class. We're going to get together. It's interactive. You got to bring a pen. And I'm going to walk you through some techniques and strategies, exercises you can start and take away and practice. The whole purpose of this class is to help readjust the way we're thinking, because everything that happens because of what's going on between our ears, our thoughts, our mindset, the way we look at things. That's where all the power lies. So tomorrow, join me at 9 a.m. Pacific by going to the show notes right here in this episode. Tap that link, sign up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Now, let's get on with the show. I'm Becca Jacobson, gals, and I have a snippet for you. If you're new in Snippet Land, I just want to give you a warm, fuzzy welcome. I'm so glad you found us, because it really is an amazing place to be. And it's my honor to have you in my sphere of influence, in my world, hearing my voice. Thank you for joining us. Today, I have 3 questions for you. That's it. Grab a pen. You're going to want to write these down. I'm going to show you how to take a mere desire. Let's just say maybe the desire to quit drinking, but it could be any desire. And by using 3 simple questions, deepen that desire, clarify that desire, and make that desire happen. Okay? More likely to happen or happen, depending on what it is and, what's going on in your world, right? But these are really 3 very simple but very powerful questions that you can ask yourself. So the first question, gals, is, what do you want? Okay, that was complicated. What do you want? Now, you could do this 2 ways. You could write out a list of things you want. I'm sure that all of us out here in Snippet Land would write down, I want to be free from alcohol, or we might phrase it, I want to not want to drink. Does that make sense? I want to not want to drink, right? Or I want to quit drinking. I want to stop thinking about alcohol, etc. Those are all really good wants. Those should be written down. But what else do you want? What else do you want? Write down a list of your wants. Get a nice juicy list going. Put them down in paper. Don't be afraid to do this. I do hear from women, well, I'd rather not, acknowledge what I want because I'll just be disappointed. And we just don't go there. And in fact, I was like that. There were things I wanted all my life, and I just wouldn't even allow myself to think about them. When they came up, I'd push it aside because it would be like, don't be ridiculous. You're never going to have that. So don't even think about it, Becca. It's just forget it, right? And that's a sad way to live. I didn't know that. I really thought I was protecting myself from dire disappointment. But it's important to acknowledge the things we want, because otherwise it's nagging and haunting at us. We have desires inside of us that we're not acknowledging, let alone trying to work towards, let alone looking clearly at, let alone sharing with others. That's another thing. How embarrassing. I'm not going to tell anyone that I want that. Here's a story for you that I didn't know I was going to tell today, but this is what happens when I turn the microphone on. Back in the day, meaning when I was like, I think I was under 10 or maybe around 10, there was this show on television. I could look it up and find out the year. It doesn't even matter. Some of you may have heard of it. It doesn't matter either. But the show was called Fame. Fame. And it was a show about young people, teenagers, early 20s people, in a school of performing arts. So these people were learning how to dance, mainly dancing. And it was a series. It was a dramatic series on television, and I loved that show. I loved watching them dance and how they were, going through their daily struggles with their parents or this or that. It was very dramatic, but the core of it, they were learning how to dance, how to be dancers, how to be performers. And I would watch that show and just, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be a dancer. Funny thing, I forgot all about that until years later, because here's what happened. One day, I made the huge mistake. I told somebody. Somebody asked me, I have no idea who it was, and I can't remember. I have a very weird memory. I've talked to lots of women like that, where you just have big blank spots in your memory. Well, I'm like that too, and I don't know who it was, but I just remember somebody asked me, what do you want to kind of be when you grow up? And when I answered them, I had the show in my mind. I could see these young people dancing. I didn't mention the show, but this is what I was, I was thinking about the show. And I answered them and said, I want to be a dancer. And they laughed and scoffed and made fun of me. And as a matter of fact, that was the day I stopped watching that show, and it was the last time I ever dreamed about being a dancer. Oh my God, isn't that sad? What a sob story. It's so sad. I never really thought of it that way, but it is sad. It is sad. But I believe I didn't think much about it. I really didn't. It's not like it scarred me for life, although the fact that I'm 59 years old and still talking about it, I don't know. Maybe it did scar me for life, but here's what it did do. I'm sure of it. That and a combination of other events in my life left me afraid to dream. It really did. It left me afraid to share my dreams, to dream and to share my dreams. Both, I thought I would be, you don't want to be made fun of. To laugh at someone's dreams is very, very mean. And so I didn't dream. Like, for example, when I decided at the age of 32 to go from a stripper/prostitute to a college student, I didn't know I was going to become a teacher, but I knew I wanted to go to college. And when I decided to do that, I didn't tell anyone except people I really, really trusted, because I knew that that I didn't want to be laughed at, right? And some of the people I told did scoff. Why would you want to go to college and rack up all that student loan? Why don't you just go get a job over at 7-Eleven? Like, what is your problem? Coming from a working class family. Wow, I didn't expect to talk this much about myself today, but I promise I'm almost done. Anyway, whether you've been laughed at in the past or not, whether you have been afraid to dream, I want to reawaken that inside of you. I want to reawaken inside of you the willingness to dream, the willingness to desire your dreams. And what's worse is we get to this age and then we really stop dreaming. Like, even if we never got something, never got laughed at or never got put down for having dreams, now the problem is we're at an age where we stop dreaming just because of our age. I don't know if you heard Susan's interview last week, but she mentioned, I'm 66. I don't think about the future. That's the problem. We have a future, gals, and it matters. It matters. Now, I'm not telling you to go start a new career. I'm not telling you what to do at all, except dream. Go ahead and want something. Go ahead and pursue it, because you know what will give you a long, long life? A goal that you're excited about. So Susan said she's 66. Well, what do you want to be when you're 76, Susan? What do you want to accomplish in the next 10 years? There's no reason you're not going to be around in 10 years or 15 or 20. Right? So how old are you? Are you still dreaming? Do you have a goal on the table that gets you out of bed every morning? And it can be as simple as learning how to paint a picture, or learning how to play a musical instrument, whatever. Or a new career. At 57, I changed careers from college professor to sobriety coach. Whatever you want to do, kids, do it. Okay, now, I really am sidetracked. I promise I'm getting back to those 3 questions, but this is relevant. The first question is, what do you want? Please be wanting something. Please, yes, the first thing it should be is your sobriety. Healthy, happy, solid sobriety. In other words, emotional maturity, emotional sobriety, not just putting down the bottle. That should be top of list. Yes. But you can get that, and you know how, because I've been nagging about that a lot in the last couple of weeks. You know how. So I'm not even going to go there. You know how to do it. Hands up, those in the room who know how to do that. Who do you call? Who are you going to call? Right? Okay. So, all right. Thank God you passed that test. But so you know how to get that. Well, then you can get that, right? For example, women foundationally spend 8 weeks with me. Many of them stay longer. And so that's done. So then what? In fact, during the initial 8 weeks women spend with me, I get them to do this, to say, what do you want? We don't stop dreaming because we hit a certain age, okay? So you're first on your list. You got to get the alcohol under control. Fine, fair enough. Go ahead. You know how to do it. And what else do you want? Are you dreaming? Do you have a goal? Do you have something that excites you enough that it gets you out of bed, that you're looking forward? You're like, oh my God, 1 year from now, I'm going to have this, this, and this. In other words, I'm going to be better at playing the flute or the piano, or I'm going to be showing my pictures at the local craft fair, or whatever it is. Okay, so number one question. This is still on question one. What do you want? List them out. List out your desires. All right, now, the second question. Now, okay, first of all, I promise I'm not doing intentionally leaving you in suspense. I just want to get this right. You're going to have a long list of things, hopefully, or at least a fairly meaty list of things that you want. Then for the second and third question, I want you to pick one of those things on the list. And you can do the second and third question with all of them, but just do one at a time. So go to the first desire, and the second question to ask is, why? Why do you want that? And then write it out, at least a paragraph. Get detailed. Why? Because it'll make me feel better. Why? Well, because it'll, right? When you answer the question why, ask it again and again and again to go deeper, deeper, deeper. Like if I was to say, I want to learn how to play the flute. Why? Well, so I can feel like I accomplished something. Why? Well, so I can feel better about myself. Why? Because I want to hear the music. Why? Because I've always wanted to. Why? Like keep going, okay? So question number one, what do you want? Question number two, why do you want it? Dig down, get a nice fat paragraph going. And asking why really helps us to see that it's more than just a superficial desire. Even if you wrote down, I want a new dress. I want that dress, that $400 dress I saw in the window. Why? Desiring a dress is a wonderful thing. Because it'll make me feel good, because I deserve it, because I want to look a certain way, because I will put that thing on my body and it'll make me walk differently. Clothes are important, gals. They are not superficial. Unless you're obsessed with them, that's another snippet. But there's nothing wrong with having clothes that make you feel good. They change the way we feel. Yes, it is another snippet. I got to not get sidetracked. Okay, so why do you want the things you want? That will help you to see that there are valid reasons for every desire. And question number 3, I can have it because. That's the third question. I can have it because. Finish that sentence. So I want to learn to play the flute because, why, because, and then I list all the reasons. And then I can learn to play the flute because I'm a person who perseveres. I know how to study. I'm willing to put the time in. I know that given enough practice, I can master it. I have the skill. I have the time. I have the energy. I can do it. I can do it because. I can have that because. Why are you going to get it? The answer to the third question could be simple as because I'm worthy. So the third question is going to help us see that we actually can have it. Because we're going to talk about how we can get it, how we're capable of getting it, why we can have it, the reasons that we can make it happen in our lives, the resources we can put towards it, the help that we might have to move towards it. All right, so question number 1, what do you want? Question number 2, why? Dig deep. Question number 3, why can you have it? Why will you have it? Number 3 should start with because. because I'm worthy, because I'm capable, because, right? And those 3 questions, my dear, will help you to not only build a future, but build desire for a future and excitement for a future. Spending time on these 3 questions will help you feel younger, more alive, more desirous of continuing to live. I got to be honest, Susan, it saddened me when I heard that. I'm 66. Why should I look to the future? That's sad. But I know exactly, I'm not picking on her. I'm not picking on you, Susan, because I've felt the same way. You're like, well, I'm turning 60 this year. Screw that, kids. Forget it. We're not going down that route. We are not doing that. This is the best and most important era of our lives. So what are you going to do with yours? Keep asking you that. And these 3 questions will help you to see that no matter what age you're at, you are over 40, and that means it's worth looking at this. This will give you a reason to get out of bed and a reason to feel good about yourself. And of course, if the first item on your list is alcohol, I want to be sober. Why? List everything you can think of why you want alcohol out of your life. And then how can you get it? I can get sober because. Finish that sentence. I can get sober because. Why? Because others have done it, because the help is available, because I want it, because I'm determined, right? So there they are, 3 questions that can really help us feel that this really is the best and most important era of our lives. I don't want you thinking I just say stuff because it sounds nice. The best era of my life. We don't do fluff. I mean it when I say those things. We don't do fluff in Snippet Land, and this really is the best and most important era of our lives. Simply because, gals, it's the only one we got, right? So why not look after it? In fact, we have the potential to look after this era of our lives better than we have any other era. We have a golden opportunity in front of us to take whatever time we have left on Earth and do something amazing with it. Even if that means being really healthy, really happy, emotionally mature, and useful and loving to other humans. That's a worthwhile pursuit. So there it is. 3 questions. Have fun with them. Play with them. Don't take any of this too seriously. Please go lightly. Even though you're building your life, it still needs to be light and playful because we never want to get too serious about anything on this plane of existence. Gals, join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 12th of April, Saturday. If you're listening to this today, the 11th, and not sometime in the future, then hop onto the show notes, sign up, and join me for a live masterclass called Master Your Thinking to Master Your Drinking. This is a class about mindset, about limiting beliefs, about the way we view ourselves. And all we need to do, honestly, to change our lives is start with our thinking. So hop on, join me tomorrow because I want to meet you. The time has come for us to meet. Uh-oh. Now I'm singing. Please don't make me sing. Tomorrow's Saturday, but I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.